The movie starts with a sniper named Drasa targeting someone in a tunnel, waiting for the right moment to take a shot. Moments later, a government official arrives at the airport, and Drasa takes him out with just one shot. After the mission, Drasa goes to visit her mother's grave, where her father is already waiting. She gives him a bullet shell and tells him that she has been given another secret mission that will last a year. The scene then shifts to Levi, who meets a senior female officer named Barto. Levi is a retired Marine sniper, but Barto wants him to take on a secret mission that will last a year. Suddenly he is knocked unconscious, and when he wakes up, he finds himself on an airplane. A soldier takes his ID, watch, and phone, and explains that once they land, he must walk 32 kilometers north to reach the mission site. Then the plane door opens, and Levi jumps out. Once he lands, he begins the long walk to the mission site. After 2 days of tough conditions, he finally arrives at a vast canyon surrounded by woods, with smoke rising everywhere and no people in sight. There, he meets a soldier named JD, who has been on the mission for a year. He takes Levi to a watchtower, where Levi asks what he is supposed to do. JD explains that this is a top-secret place they call the Gorge. He goes on to describe the rules. There are every kind of weapons and ammunition here, and he must check and reload the automatic guns and landmines every day. Across the gorge is an east tower, controlled by the Russians, with a guard doing the same mission. They cannot communicate with each other or with the outside world because the area is hidden from satellites. JD warns Levi to always stay alert, as attacks can happen at any moment. Levi listens carefully, but is still confused about what his actual mission is. JD suddenly throws a grenade into the gorge.
Shh. What the hell is that? We call the Hollow Men.
Levi's task is to ensure that those creatures never escape from the gorge. After that, JD packs his things, his mission is done, and he says goodbye to Levi. Then a helicopter arrives to pick him up.
We confirm your identity!
The next day, Levi checked everything again and reloaded the automatic guns. Weeks passed, and soon a month went by, leading him to the brink of boredom. Until one day, he heard a faint voice from across the gorge. He looks through his scope and sees Drasa. Her beauty captures his attention, but speaking to her is against the rules. A few days later, it's Drasa's birthday. She writes on a whiteboard asking for his name, but Levi reminds her that it's against the rules. Still, Drasa smiles and writes her name and that it's her birthday. Levi finally tells him his name too, and they both raise a glass to celebrate. Drasa starts dancing to music and invites Levi to dance. He writes back that he's not a good dancer, so she asks what he's good at. He replies that he's a good shot. Drasa puts a bottle on her railing, but Levi doesn't fall for her bait. Drasa then provokes him by shooting his bottle. Levi gets furious and fires a precise shot. Just then, she noticed something below her and called out to Levi to look down. Many frightening creatures were moving straight toward the west tower. Levi took his rifle and began shooting, but there were way too many of them. Drasa took out a machine gun, and together they fought back fiercely. Suddenly, one of the monsters climbed up to Drasa's tower, but she managed to take it down. Another monster landed on a landmine, and a metal shard hit Drasa in the shoulder. Soon, the automated guns started firing on their own as they responded to the monsters. They battled throughout the night until dawn broke. Then Drasa wrapped her wound and wrote that this was her best birthday ever. The next morning, Levi set up new landmines and reloaded the guns. Just then, a drone flew up from the gorge, quickly scanned the area, and then flew off. Days slipped into weeks, and weeks turned into months. They were now very close. They wished each other a Merry Christmas, made snowmen, and even played chess together. But one day, Drasa looked very sad and heartbroken. She wrote to Levi, "I wish you were here with me today." The next day, Levi built a custom rocket and tied a rope to it. Drasa fastened the rope to a tree on her side. Then Levi glided down the rope, but he got stuck halfway. For an hour, he pulled himself forward with his hands and became very tired. When he finally made it to the East Tower, Drasa welcomed him with a smile and suggested he freshen up. Later, they sat together, talked for hours, and finally shared their favorite sport with each other. The next morning, Levi said goodbye and left for the West Tower. But then one of the monsters triggered a landmine, causing a huge explosion and breaking Levi's rope. Drasa quickly grabbed a parachute and a few guns and jumped into the gorge without hesitation. She landed in a fast-moving river, but she somehow reached the shore. Meanwhile, Levi landed in the branches of a huge tree. When he woke up, he saw a giant insect crawling toward him. He barely managed to survive, but then fell onto the roots below. Suddenly, Drasa appeared out of nowhere, cut through the roots, and saved Levi. Then, from the mist, two monsters on horses charged at them. After a tough battle, they finally defeated both monsters. Levi then noticed something odd. The monsters were wearing American Army uniforms. That's when JD's words came back to him.
In the 1940s, they sent 3 entire battalions. Not a single man returned.
As they continued forward, they saw unimaginable sights, skeletons everywhere, with trees and plants growing through them. Then they heard sounds coming from the trees and realized the Hollow Men were coming back. They dashed into a broken church for shelter and found skeletons on every seat. Suddenly, the Hollow Men broke through the door. Drasa pulled out a grenade and blew up the church wall. Then, they ran out of the church. As they ran through the ruins, they found an old tunnel. Inside was a lab. Broken machines and shattered glass containers were everywhere. Levi found an old DVD and played it. A terrified female scientist appeared on the screen and explained that the scientists had been working on a biochemical missile project until a huge earthquake hit, causing the chemicals to leak. Toxic gas filled the air, and soon enough, people became infected. The scientist admitted she was also infected and begged the army to destroy the gorge to contain the infection, but the army refused. Then, Levi noticed a computer there, and when he turned it on, the truth was revealed. A company named Dark Lake Corporation had been collecting samples of Hollow Men, and they were creating super soldiers. That's why both America and Russia wanted this place kept secret, not destroyed. There was even an active biochemical missile stored there. If it went off, everything within a 4.2-kilometer radius would be wiped out. Now everything made sense. Officer Bartow would do anything to keep this secret hidden. She sent only soldiers who had no family left in the world, and they were eliminated after completing their missions. As soon as they exited this secret facility, a monster on a horse threw a rope around Drasa and dragged her away. Levi rushed after her through the fog and reached the massive missile. At the same time, the monster had captured Drasa, but she found a way to escape. She then picked up a burning log and drove it into the monster, setting it on fire. Just at that moment, Levi shot the creature from behind. They moved on and discovered a garage with the Jeep inside. They hopped in and drove away, to the edge of the gorge. At the edge, they saw a long rope going up to the east tower, and Levi came up with a great idea. He tied the Jeep to the rope, but the Hollow Men were already chasing them, so Drasa stayed behind to hold them off. The Jeep began to ascend the rope, but more monsters climbed up after them. Levi punctured the Jeep's fuel tank and shot a flare, causing an explosion that engulfed the monsters in flames. Drasa then cut the rope, sending the burning Jeep crashing into the gorge. Once they reached the top, they made a promise to destroy the place together so that no other soldier would be trapped in this nightmare again. Drasa faintly smiled and mentioned that she had a safe place in France where they could go, get married, and begin a new life. Levi agreed, then said goodbye and returned to his tower. That night, Bartow spoke to him over the radio and informed him that the research computer system was activated.
Did you go into the gorge?
Negative.
But Bartow had already seen everything through the surveillance cameras and knew they intended to escape. She then took a helicopter and flew directly to the East Tower. By the time she arrived, Levi and Drasa were ready. They had set up all the cloaking devices and ran as far as they could from the gorge. Bartow sent drones to find them, but Levi and Drasa fought back bravely, taking out the drones one after the other. Then, Levi made a long shot and blew up one of the cloaking devices. One by one, all the cloakers exploded, revealing the gorge to satellites. That's when the siren sounded, causing Bartow to panic. She hurried into her helicopter and took off. Levi and Drasa ran as fast as they could to escape the danger zone, because the missile's blast would turn everything within 4.2 kilometers to dust. Drasa managed to get far enough, but Levi was injured and couldn't run quickly. As the missile activated, a loud explosion shook the gorge. The entire area was turned into dust. Bartow's helicopter lost control and crashed. Levi was unable to escape in time, and the blast threw him into the lake below. Months later, in France, Drossa was working at a small hotel until one day, a familiar voice interrupted her routine. Drossa froze for a moment, then rushed to him and hugged him tightly.